Once again, Dr. Pastor Abel Damina has decided to drop what I call bombshell, something that majority, I mean, that the Jews who are into prosperity and Isaac offerings and first fruits and what have you, they will not be happy. No, not at all. Because what Abel Damina did here is not what they like. And they will be reacting to it. Let us watch and we'll be talking more. Do not forget to like, share, tap on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Let's get right into it.
Everything, all is stammering. Understand? Goat, goat, sacrifice, high priest, once every year. Goat, goat. He was trying to say Christ, 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 but it was not given to him because Moses was a dead man. All of them were dead. Moses was dead. Abraham was dead. Even Adam was dead. And as dead men, the best they could communicate was in types and shadows. They couldn't give us reality. That's why you can't see reality in the old. But when you look at the new, you can see what they were trying to say in the old with the eyes of the new. I don't know if I'm talking to somebody. The law of Moses, put it up for me. And in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. Jesus is saying, look, I am the message. Outside me, no message. Am I talking to somebody here? Yeah. All that the prophets, the blood on the doorpost was Christ. That animal they killed and splashed blood. It was not whether you were Jewish or Egyptian. Anywhere there is blood, the angel of death will pass. So if a Jewish man doesn't put blood, the angel will wipe him out. If an Egyptian put blood, the angel will pass. It's not about Jew or Egyptian. It's about blood. It's neither Jew nor Greek nor Gentile, but Christ. I don't know if I'm talking to somebody. The brazen serpent was all Christ. And all the people are required to do was to look. He didn't tell them to do anything. He just said, look, look. When the snakes are biting you, look up. As long as you're looking, you won't die. It doesn't matter how many snakes are biting you. Let them keep biting. Just keep looking. As long as you're looking, you won't die. As we behold the glory of the Lord, as in a mirror, we are changed into that same image by the Spirit of the Lord. From glory, we leave the glory of Moses and enter the glory of Christ. You are complete in him, who is the head of all principalities. Somebody shout, I'm complete in him. In him. Outside him, you're on your own. In him, you're complete. Paul said, and be found in him, not having my own righteousness, but the righteousness which is of Christ. It's all about Jesus. Listen, it's all about Jesus. Jesus is the message. We have messages. We have message. Jesus is the message of the scripture. Sir, the problem of the church is there are too many messages preached that the church doesn't know the message. Too many messages. Today is who stole my wedding gown. Tomorrow is who tied my goat. Next tomorrow is too many messages that the message is missing. Meanwhile, after all those messages, there is still frustration. After all the messages, the frustration still continues. Because the end of the frustration, firstborn, breaking of curses, generational curses, ancestral curses. How can a man in Christ be having generational curses? From where now? You are one generation away. You are of God. God Abel, no generation, no curse, no curse. You are in Christ. From Christ, you. Whatever is in Christ is in you. You see, the unveiling of Christ is the revelation of the identity of the believer. Until Christ is unveiled, the believer's identity cannot be revealed. Why? That we may have boldness in the day of judgment. For as he is, so am I. If I can see him, I can see me. If I cannot see him, I cannot see me. Me is revealed in unveiling him. So if the church does not unveil Christ, the believer will never know who he is. So anything can go. The unveiling of Christ. And friends, when you finally see Jesus, you don't look for miracles. No, you don't look for miracles. You know what Jesus said? An evil generation Seek for signs. So anybody looking for miracles is evil. Jesus said it. Anybody running around. Today you are in one church looking for miracle. Tomorrow you are in another church. Jesus called them an evil generation. Sir, and he said, no sign shall be given to them. No sign. Yes, and that's why they're having magic. They're having all kinds of drama, razzmatazz, having a form of godliness, but no power. And he said, from such, turn away. Am I talking to somebody? Paul said, when I came among you, I desire to know nothing save Christ and him crucified. For the preaching of the cross to those that perish is foolishness, but unto us is the power of God. That your faith should not stand in the psychology of man, but in the power of God. Why? I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for the gospel is the power of God unto salvation. Lift your hand, shout power.
Somebody said to me, the Lord told him to put a seed of 1 billion in the ark.
Many are just desperate, and because they are desperate, men of God take advantage of them.
It's in this church. It's not from America or Jamaica. It's from here. And I knew where he was when he came here.
It's a lie.
Yes, sir.
David, let me prove God. If you think I didn't prove God, I gave one. If you can get angry, I don't care. I gave God $1 million when I had no house. You think I didn't prove God? If Bible was to be written, my name would have been written. In fact, my own would have been bigger than Solomon, because Solomon had money when he gave. Me, I gave when there was no house. If you think it's easy, go and give your money. $1 million. $1 million. I had no block, not even foundation. I proved God, though. All people talking, they teach prosperity. They better do what I did. Nobody's qualified to criticize me on prosperity until you do what I've done.
You must release to the level of his blessings on your life, or you're on your way to the grave.
That idea of telling you just give and you will prosper is a scam.
As God has blessed everyone, even so, let him give. To the same level, let him give.
I told you that at a time, 4 of the real billionaires in Nigeria were in this family. And pride came because they were, the tithe that was coming to the main church through this family was hefty. By that definition, of the time. All of a sudden, a handful of the big men, not the ones I mentioned, wrote to me and said, every month you must give to us an account of how you are spending our tithes. Gone through the Bible. I have not found a place where God spoke to Moses and said, every month you must give an account of the tithe of the children of Israel to them. I'm talking to you now like father and special children. Nobody had ever had this one from me before. So for 2 years, how many years? 2 solid years. Every kobo that came from this family was kept in a separate account. Let me just find out if God is bigger than the biggest, richer than the richest. The people are complaining. The people you asked me to go and join, they are complaining. What's the complaint? They said things are not going well. And they have found out that they offended me. That's why contracts were being cancelled, all manners of things were happening. I said, I'm not quarreling. And God knew. I wasn't quarreling. I just ignored. We reconciled. It wasn't everybody that offended. It was a handful. people who thought that they are cleverer than God, and they brought problem to everybody. It will interest you to know that every one of those involved in that little group, they are no longer in the church. And they are not where they ought to be. Let me just put it like that.
Well, Abel Damina is not stopping. He said he's going to push and keep pressing. And the thing is this, he has already said, I have a spiritual father that connects with me on doctrinal matters. It's called Bishop Mike Okonkwo. He's the spiritual head of TREM. And also, he said he has not forgotten, neither will he disrespect other spiritual fathers, those that have imputed, those that have added value to his life as a young minister and now as a old minister, middle-aged minister. Well, as it is right now, he is really breaking the backbone of majority of Daddy Geos who have decided to be called, let me put it that way, as prosperity preachers, seed sowers, Isaac offering, giant offering, first fruits. We'll be getting to the month of December soon, and the son of Pastor Ye Adeboye will begin to tell you that you must prepare for January, where you are requested to bring all your January salary, wages, income, whatever it is that comes into your pockets January must come into their own pockets. You know, most times people often complain that January is a tight month and, it's not something that is easy. But then they need that money for themselves. They say that money is for the pocket of Jesus Christ. They need that money to be paid into their own pockets. They never lack. But the question a lot of people have asked, who are they giving this money to? Now, Abel Damina spoke about Bonke, who is late. His soul rest in peace. Bonke is a man that rocked the continent of Africa. He had this vision, pain for Africa. Bonke is a man that got the attention of many Daddy Geos. There is no time that Bonke will visit Nigeria or Africa that pastors will not rally around him. They will definitely rally around him. Maybe you have attended one of Bonke's crusade back in those days. He held it all over. Bonke, a man to be remembered. His message has nothing to do with sow seed, Isaac offering, giant offering, first fruit, and all of those teachings. Well, one of Bishop David Oyedepo's sent away bishop, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me put it out. Ibioye said that they have not been called for such. He said our preaching, our teachings is not centered on that. Do we believe in hell, heaven? Yes. Do we believe in evangelism? And we do believe in all of that. But those that will go to heaven will go. Those that will go to hell will go to hell. What we have been sent to do is what we are doing. And what have they been sent to do? Seed as a means to connect to the covenant of the death and well, you know what it means. You know what it means to you if you're a member of the church that preaches that. They said that is what it is to them. That sowing seed is the key. That is it. And that the revelation, the mandate that has been given to them. And that's what they are to follow. That if you decide to go into someone else's dream, vision, or calling, then you are on your own. Now, are they sowing seed so as to remain healthy? Are they sowing seed to become rich? Are they sowing seed to have their wealth protected? Because definitely that is what the teachings of Bishop David Oyedepo is centered upon. People have asked, how many trillionaires, billionaires do you have there after the seed sowing and all of that? Well, someone pointed to a lady who was routed out of this administration for extreme looting. She's a member of that church. And she had given testimony of the saving grace through sowing of seed and how she has gotten this appointment. But the appointment did not last because she was found out and she was kicked out. Now, I'm not saying because she's a member of that church, that's why she did what she did. And I'm also saying that there's a possibility of her trying to catch big money. Catch it out, not cash. Catch. She wants to take it out of that so that she can go and now testify and give big donation in church. What I'm saying in essence, not to sound like, oh, what is he even saying? Transactional gospel. Is that what some people are called for? Now, I have never been against donation. And there are times that people have to give to correct. It is the easiest for them to do rather than them praying and fasting for long. But they can as well do this because this will do a kind of turnaround in favor. But is this a rule of thumb for everybody? No, not at all. Christ should be the center. Enough of this transactional, enough of this idolatry mentality where you have to bring chicken, you have to bring fowl, you have to bring goat, you have to bring cow before you get what you want. What is this all about? Many of them are quick to go into the scriptures and they will look at the Old Testament and use that to balance up and talk about what this widow brought, what that person brought, who paid for this land so as to sacrifice upon it, how Gideon did this, how that and that. They are able, quick, swift, to pick a portion of the Bible. But what they are not clear about is that God, at times, he steps back to see man. When I say man, I mean both gender, male and female, to see how they, in their own consciousness, how they have chosen. After all, we are all human beings with free will. How they have chosen to interact with him. I'm not just talking about people who do not have the call. Even prophets, there are times that God will keep quiet and step back to see how your interactions and what you will learn from it. Your interactions, what it would yield, the results of it, and what you, as a person, individual, and that person that has a call, what both of you will learn from it. Human beings make decisions. Doesn't matter if they are pastors, prophets, seers. There are times that they make personal decisions. That decision does not necessarily mean that this is a rule of a rule that has to be followed by everybody. What Abel Damina is saying here is simple. Christ must be the center of it all. Nothing transactional can assess grace. Nothing transactional can equal the demise of Christ, the suffering on the cross. Well, what are your thoughts about this? Drop your comments. See you in the next update.